Oh,
you know,
I have so much shame.
Today I got on the train and my pants ripped, and I've got all this shame.
I'm so I don't have any faith in myself. If only I had some pride.
Wait a minute.
Do my eyes deceive me? That's right, kids. On this episode of the Bells and Whistles podcast, we have Max fucking Talisman, writer director.
Pride episode.
We talk about dating apps. We talk about superheroes. We talk about all the things that are hot and sexy.
Yeah.
All the gay shit.
That's right, kids. On this
Because if there were
Pride-
ever people to talk about it,
on this special Pride episode on a Bells and Whistles podcast, run that intro. You're supposed to say that.
Oh, I am? Okay, then let's do that. Do just that again.
Just you do it.
Wait, I do it, and then you're gonna like
1, 2, 3,
run that intro. Wow, that felt good.
That was powerful.
There it is. Pass me the milkshake so that way,
There you go.
and the
It's
straw.
got tape on it.
Yeah, unduct tape, and we also have to say goodbye to the AC,
Oh God.
don't we?
We'll keep it short and sweet. So
No,
that
no,
we're
no.
not-
We could also like take breaks if we need to turn her on.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
idea.
Yeah, we've done that before too, and maybe our milkshakes will keep us cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You rolling on sound and everything?
It's rolling on sound over there.
So we are.
It's the most neat episode
wish-
ever. You guys aren't drinking. You're drinking milkshakes.
Yeah,
like-
yeah. You should.
It's when
I want you to put it into
Oh,
the
wait,
microphone.
When in
actually have a
Pride.
little
What do you got?
Pokemon stuff for you guys.
Are you serious?
I was gonna say, do
Is
you
it-
know that
One
this
of
is a
us has
Pokemon
been-
podcast?
One of us has
now?
been just got back from Japan
Okay.
with my Pokemon obsessed brother. I have some stuff.
Oh wow!
Are you serious?
I don't know much, but yeah, I know a little.
Wow.
My brother literally. We can get into this later, but
Yeah.
you can ask me about my Pokemon obsessed brother. It's fine.
Well,
I forgot that you even had a brother. if
I have
I'm
an older
being
brother. Yeah.
perfectly
you have
honest.
a sister too.
I have a twin sister. Yeah.
Yes, and we're gonna
know
cover
the
all
stuff.
that in a minute.
Yeah.
in a minute.
Hey.
But we have the first thing that we
Well,
have to do,
First of all, welcome back to the Bells and Whistles podcast, Ryan Quigley. As always.
and not just any Bells and Whistles podcast.
This is a pride. I'm
This
feeling
is
very
the-
proud.
This is our proudest episode yet.
But understand, pride for me means the Knicks, who have just been eliminated from the playoffs. Never been more proud of a team.
Yeah.
But today we have a very special
We've
guest.
got a very special guest, don't we? Now
He's a returner.
a returner.
It would be his third appearance on the podcast
Would be.
If we had taken off the lens cap.
if we hadn't.
Is that what it was?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay. I was like,
If we hadn't.
my jaw was on the floor.
If we hadn't deleted a full 90-minute podcast.
And you know what? Things happen.
It really is. But you know him. He's a writer, director, actor,
Extraordinaire.
filmmaker,
Icon.
gay icon,
Bicon.
a Maryland sports fan, a DMV sports fan,
And Lakers fan.
and Lakers
put that
fan.
in there, yeah.
We gotta
Someone
talk
who
about that.
is DMV certified just had your
I-
license renewed,
I'm
didn't
California DMV.
Uh-huh,
Yes.
there
yes.
you go.
And
No,
a philanthropist.
And
I was always philanthropist, guys. I can't believe
yeah.
that's
Ladies and gentlemen, Max Talisman of things like this.
Thank you so much.
things like
Give it
this
up. Give it
and
up,
other
kids.
future projects.
Other future projects that we're not at liberty
that
to
we're not at
discuss.
liberty. God,
What are you gonna do?
Don't you even dare.
How are you doing, old friend? Tell the people.
I'm so good. Like
That's
I'm
so-
just like vibing. It's been
Yeah?
like I don't know, the past like few months life has just been like kind of good.
It's just been easy.
You just been living in Cali?
I've
and
been
fucking
living in
soaking it up?
California. Like the thing is, like I know we can't fully talk about it, but so the film, like the stuff with the movie now, is so out of my hands.
Yeah.
And like it's obviously it's in the process, and by the time this comes out, it might be sold. So like that is. But it's been months of this, and so
It's
has
coming out
not-
Wednesday.
Oh, it's coming out this Wednesday? It will probably not be sold by then. I might know
I was
where it's
gonna- I
being
was like-
sold to.
I wasn't sure. You might be moving quickly.
I might know where it's being sold to literally in a few days, but
in a few hours.
But you guys won't.
Sorry, kids. Sorry, children.
No, but so like that stuff has been being worked on for months, and
Yeah,
like
it's
what's
awesome.
been interesting is that obviously as the guy who wrote, directed, starred in it, produced it. I have had my hand in fucking everything, and the sale I couldn't, and so it's like first really
That's
hard
why
for
it's
me to
taking
deal
so
with.
goddamn long.
No, but first was really hard for me to deal with, and like I'm sorry to my sales agent, but he's amazing.
Yeah.
But like for me, it was like, okay, so what do you mean hands off? Like, I don't
Define, what does
I
that
don't
mean?
do that. Like
Explain.
do you not realize that like
Yeah.
I didn't let go of this project for like 7 years? Like but anyway, but the good thing is it has given me the ability to focus on what's next and put those pieces together.
Good.
And I know
Good.
that you both are privy to hopefully what's next, and
Yeah.
like it's very exciting.
It's
So
very cool.
Shoot me a DM, kids. I'll tell you.
no, they're not. He's just trying to get a date. So you're not allowed to talk about the thing. Like,
Shoot me a DM.
Ladies.
yeah,
How bad you want to know?
yeah, right.
I can't wait to the day where we get DMs, because you've gotten some, but not.
We got a DM on TikTok today. I got to tell
Did
you
we
about
really?
it. We got a DM from someone on TikTok. All it was a highlight of Anthony Edwards playoff plays. Anthony Edwards, he's a small forward.
I saw this.
Well, that's
I
so
saw
weird.
this.
And it was
This
but
is my. I
didn't know who that
someone
was.
I know though.
Really?
I think so. I
Oh.
think this is Casey, who was in a Zoom game night with me during COVID. And I haven't talked to her in about
Did she-
2.5 years.
I know I'm a basketball guy, but I've never publicly came out and said that I know anything about Anthony Edwards.
Uh-huh.
So it was bizarre, but we still got it.
It's annoying what
still got
straight guys come out with. I've never come out as an Anthony Edwards fan.
Well, listen, we're coming out with a whole lot with this podcast.
Okay, sure.
Which is true. This is our Pride episode. And
It
there's
is.
some
That's why
stuff-
we have
That's why we
milkshakes.
have some milkshakes.
No,
'cause
yes,
ours are-
because-
That's what gay people do, right?
no, that's iced
mine
coffee.
is-
Or the thing is iced coffee. But
I got confused.
I'm like, a rebel, guys. Like, I don't like iced coffee.
You're a ground shaker.
Yeah. So,
You often joke the characters that you play are often portrayed as like, are you sure you're even gay?
Yeah.
A lot of people say
yeah,
that.
they
Yeah?
do say that to me a lot. But that was earlier in my life. I do think, like, as...
Early in my
They
career.
saw you at the local cubby hole.
Yeah, no. But I think, like, there are parts of me that, like, are not... And this is so dumb because
Yeah.
what is stereotypically
Yeah, exactly.
gay? But, like,
Sure.
for example, you mentioned I'm a, sports fan. The Orioles are on my TV every day.
Yeah.
There's not I don't like, if I'm at home, and like the thing is actually living in LA makes it easier to watch games because they're at 4 p.m. for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm literally like doing work with
Right.
the Orioles on in the background.
Yeah.
I don't miss a lot of like Lakers stuff. I don't like, if I care about a team, I'm in. If I care
Yeah.
about a sport, I'm in.
That's great.
And I care about every sport except hockey. And the only reason why
don't
is I
blame
think like if you grow up with a sport, you love it. If
Yeah.
your family was passionate about it, they raise you to be passionate about it, you're gonna be. But like
Yeah.
my family just wasn't a hockey family.
Yeah.
I fell
So-
out. I tend to agree with you because I can only get so into hockey just for like the playoff. Like I just
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
the
yeah.
Rangers in the playoff. I'll watch whatever. Let's go
Right.
Rangers, whatever. But who cares? I fell out of love with baseball. I was the biggest
Really?
baseball fan.
I was going to say, I
watched-
haven't heard you speaking about the
I
Yankees
haven't
in a
watched.
bit.
I really haven't been a Yankee fan in like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, like obviously I keep up with the big stuff because I like sports.
Yeah.
But I will never. I don't watch Yankee games.
You know what's so interesting is that like so the Orioles had this like little mini,
Rebuild.
time where we were good, and this is back in like 2014 to 2016.
the Chris Davis, the Crush Davis,
the Crush
the
Davis,
Jonathan
Adam
Scope,
Jones,
Manny
Machado,
Weeders,
absolutely. So
yeah.
that time, like the first time we made the playoffs, I want to say in my life, but it probably was like since like 97 or something.
That was like my pinnacle.
was
too.
my freshman year of college. So I remember like
Yeah.
being like very excited. I went to like TGI Fridays in Syracuse to watch the wild card game. And like I remember all of this, but the thing is then we ended up winning the American League a few years later, but this whole dynasty of like, those people
They're all gone.
falls apart in 2016.
What do you mean by those people?
That team. the team of baseball players, by the way. But so that all fell apart in 2016.
Yeah.
And then for the next few years, I mean, like, it's not like life was easy for anyone, around that time.
Yeah, right.
But it really wasn't for an Orioles fan. So, but I really did like stop watching every game during
Yeah.
the next few years. And now the
Now you
team
got the
is
young
really
core.
good, and like they're
Unbelievable.
super young.
Yeah.
So they're all going to be there for 5-6 years, and you're
You
getting to
gotta
know
hope.
these guys.
You gotta hope, but baseball's weird.
But baseball's weird in the fact that they have to be there for a while, like when they're just starting. So.
They do, but it's like how I can. My biggest beef with baseball is that I think it's such a crapshoot and
Yeah.
it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like if I was talking about, I was saying the same shit about the Yankees in like 2017, 18,
Yeah.
where it's like Gary Sanchez is going to be our catcher for 10 years,
Yeah.
and he had like, and he was an all-star, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's a dynasty
We're in
loading.
it. We're in
And then like in 2 years, a guy could suck.
But to be fair,
Yeah.
that's
And it's just-
also the Yankee mentality, which is that if they start sucking, you get rid of them.
You could talk to a lot of Yankee fans who wanted to get rid of Gary Sanchez
Sure,
so quick.
I wasn't talking about him necessarily, but
Yeah.
like that is,
That's also the mentality of this podcast.
but you have
by the
Juan
way.
Soto,
Yeah.
who's now doing great.
We
so.
do. You
Yeah.
gotta re-sign him first, don't you?
Yeah, I mean,
but anyway,
he's
this is
gonna-
a baseball podcast.
Gay. Pride.
Gay! Fine! Damn it!
Pride gay.
I've
It
outstrated
sucks-
us again.
No, it sucks that I'm the gayest one on the podcast now.
Here, okay.
Because I was about to ask you about
We've spoken-
your
Yeah.
opinions
We've spoken
on
about-
musical theater.
We've spoken about baseball.
Put it away. Put it away.
Take this off
Put it
for the
away.
rest of the podcast.
You got to see that nice hair. Yeah,
Yeah,
there
right?
you
It's
go.
still here.
Those
It's still
locks.
hey.
I still got it.
And
Are you gonna go bald someday?
I don't think so. I'm
No?
like, not at this. Like now that I am this
You
age
think
with
you're
hair,
safe?
I'm
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was so worried. My brother and my
Yeah.
dad are both bald, so I was like,
Oh wow!
Oh, that's
so you
powerful.
dodged the bullet.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
You
knock
with the
wood.
sheer
knock
To be
wood.
fair though, like I'm like very intense about hair and
Yeah.
skincare and all that shit. So like,
Yeah.
so the second
oils and
anything
stuff?
happened, I mean, yeah, I use like the
What are you doing?
Keeps, whatever it is.
You're
Like,
doing keeps?
of course.
Oh, you got to keep
Okay.
on keeps.
But the
Okay.
thing
Are
is,
you on keeps?
The second I have a little disposable income, I'm going straight to keeps.
You're going
Yeah.
right to
and I'm
keeps.
going. What's the erectile dysfunction one? Too?
Blue Chew.
Blue.
I don't.
Hey, this brings us to our sponsor.
This is the almost 30 and over 30 podcast.
What I
That's
wanted to
right.
say,
Yes.
what I wanted to ask, because you don't even realize this.
No.
You
Yeah.
don't even realize this. But I was researching. We've got a whole plan for today, right?
Okay.
But I was researching, and I saw you put out your opinions for some of the shows that you've seen. All of them are great. All of them are the right opinion to have.
When he says
yeah.
he was researching,
Uh-huh,
by the
I was
way,
going on
I
your
want to be clear
Finsta.
about this. He's sharing info not from my Instagram, from my Finsta.
He's such a
He
bad
is
guy.
He's invited to my private Instagram.
I'm not going to share any of your opinions.
No, no,
Nothing is
fine.
safe. Nothing is safe.
No,
because
you
all of
can,
them are
you
the right
can.
ones.
That is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all of them are the right ones.
what you
I
said.
think there's some. This is a mecca of musical theater right
Yeah.
now, but we're not going to
Yeah.
talk about that right now
Yeah.
because there's one piece of beef that I have.
Oh, yeah?
in that
What are you gonna
have
say?
is that you said there understudy that should have gone on, right? That that best one at the end was Leah, right?
Who's my best
Which
friend.
is your
Yes.
best friend,
Yeah.
of course. You're talking to two understudies right now.
Well, hold on.
No.
Did you see 2023 to 2025, 2023 to 2024 season
Mm-hmm.
of shows I've seen?
I was saying this. I was an understudy this last year.
But did I see the show?
I sent you plenty of clips.
That's fair. That's fair. However,
Well, just speaking of, where were you in 2014 for
Right,
the Winslow
exactly.
party?
where was I?
I don't know.
It was like
Let me
the-
tell you, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, probably Syracuse is the
No.
truth, but
Leah absolutely takes precedence over us.
no.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Okay, I
Yeah,
wanna,
it's very understandable.
Ephraim, I did not mean to upset you. No, but
He
I
was
saw
heartbroken.
it was honestly like one of the coolest moments in a very long time that I got to see, my best friends since early high school go on for one of the hardest roles in musical
Yeah.
theater on the Broadway National Tour.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it was just like this. I mean, I obviously am very close to her. I have very high expectations for her.
Yeah.
And
For that part too.
But it's such a hard part. But like she just fucking killed it. And like Danny, who's my other best friend and my roommate, he'd never seen her perform, and so like
Right.
not in that way at least. And so he was next to me the whole time, and he was just like jaw on the floor.
Josh.
Just
That's
it's-
awesome.
Did they fall in love?
Who?
Danny and Leah.
Stupid idiot.
No, Danny's with Emily, my other friend. And Leah, by the way, a part that
Yeah.
Leah's boyfriend is the musical director of The Notebook, which is how
very cool. Wow.
I was lucky enough that the production like offered me to go, and I loved it. But I was able to go on stage after because Jeff is the conductor and the musical director.
wow.
So,
That's very cool.
yeah, it was. I
Very
think it was
cool.
honestly my first time on a Broadway stage.
Yeah.
So
Not
like,
last
been there,
time.
done
Yeah.
I think I can remember my first time.
but
Well, do you remember? Do you know what I was understanding what I had to do for my show? Do you remember? Because I was
It was
Jonah.
It was talk about a challenging role.
A very
Yeah.
challenging role because I had to have my butt out.
He had to
on
take his
stage.
ass out.
Really?
I had
He had to
my
whip it
ass
out.
Yeah, I
Wait,
had to
I
whip it
didn't know
out.
this.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I don't
Is
know
it-
if they
was
know
it
this
off
either.
Broadway?
It was off Broadway. Yeah.
Which theater again?
Roundabout.
No way.
Yeah, I did. It was
Yeah.
Jonah.
I felt like you were, and like I
I'm
thought
like,
you were.
here, let's.
What are we? I thought you were understudying a few parts in that show. No,
I understudied 2 parts in that show.
but the
yeah.
part that you went.
I went on for both
the
parts.
reason you booked it.
The reason I booked it, I was like,
Was
take a
that
look at this.
nice
Yeah.
Get a look at it. Get a load of that fucking.
I was the only one who had the gall.
Yeah, exactly.
To go up and do
Wow.
it. No, but though they let me because I went on for both parts.
Uh-huh.
One, I had 20 minutes beforehand. They're like, just go up there and do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was that was scary, but it was a not so scary part.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
the other one, I had to have a sex scene on stage. My ass was out.
Oh my god.
And then at the end, I slit my wrist. And I, it's just
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. You don't know what it is.
sounds like a
It was
joy.
but it was a joy. It was a great. I'll tell you, it was a great show.
Yeah, no, it sounds awesome. Honestly,
It was a cool thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it got me wondering.
Yeah.
It got me
Yeah.
wondering if anybody here would ever have their ass out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You're down, right?
I mean, like, yes,
Yeah.
but so when I did Super Dark Times, have I told this story on this
I
podcast
don't
specifically?
know if you.
I don't know if I have.
People have talked about
It might have been on
Yeah.
the deleted
Yeah.
one.
Maybe. But I was like I came to set one day and it was the day that Ghost Daryl was starting to make an appearance.
Hey.
And so my character was already dead.
Yeah.
And but the director walks up to me, and I love Kevin Phillips, but Kevin Phillips is like an artist and like the most, like
Yeah.
doesn't like it's about the art, it's about like what I'm filming, like all of that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes.
he comes up to me and he's like, Max, he's like, listen, I just think, and I think I wrote this for Henry Laduck actually, like in Max Out.
Yeah.
But like, but he like said, he was like, I think that like you should be naked, like your character should be naked for these ghost scenes because, it's like your most like pure state now that you're dead.
Oh my god.
And I was like, okay. Sure.
Wow.
You're like,
Went
yeah.
along with it. I was like
Really?
literally like in makeup with like my robe on, just like down whatever we're doing
Wow.
this. And
Someone came and put a stop to it.
the producer came to me. First he came to me and he's like, did you say yes to this? I was like, yeah. And he goes, fucking Kevin. And he like walks away. And I hear him in the other room being like, Kevin, there's union rules. You have to clear this. And I'm like,
And he goes, "Come on!"
and literally he's like, it's for the scene. I'm like,
He's like,
this
I'm
is-
trying to score, man.
I'm like, this is not gonna happen today. I think this
Lighten
is not
up, man.
today. So the answer is yes, and I was surprised by how cool with it I am.
Wow.
Because it was one of those things where it was like I didn't really have like it's like your purest decision.
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
thing you
Yeah,
say, and,
you were like, yeah, go
yeah,
for it.
and I was like, sure. And then from then on, I was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So
Why not?
I'm absolutely like shockingly okay with it.
Yeah,
I
no.
feel like here's the thing. I understood his vision.
Yeah.
Like
no,
at the
that
end of
makes
the day,
sense.
I understood how
Right.
he explained it to me. It made artistic sense. I didn't feel like it was gross or like shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
In the way he wanted to film it, it worked for me. And
Yeah.
so absolutely I was down. And I think that's the thing. If it feels like forced or it's not for like the service of what you're doing, then I wouldn't be down.
Yeah.
But
You
in
see,
that moment,
I would be down. See, count me in. I'm down no matter what. Let's do it.
Are you really? You think you'd be naked for
Hell
a
yeah.
thing?
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Why not? Who am I? Who the fuck am I to be turning down jobs? Number one.
No.
Can I tell you, one time I did a student film.
it's an ad for your OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Ladies, shoot me a DM.
No,
but
we'll tell you about Max.
Yeah, I have more to offer. No, I did a student film a couple years ago. Do you remember this? Where I had to kiss a dude. right? It was like it was supposed to
know.
be, and I was scared.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, Happy Pride, guys. And I did it, and it was like I was like really proud of myself. Never even got a rough cut of the film. I just did it for no fucking reason. I just made out with that guy. I got nothing out of it.
Well, why can't you just ask him
I
now and
made
be
out
like,
with
where is
plenty of guys and got nothing out of it.
Oh!
Hey, no one's safe.
Tip your bartenders,
No one's
folks.
safe. Oh
Yeah.
man. No, I was to piggy off of what you said. How
I would like to
piggyback.
piggy. I would like to
piggyback.
No,
how
just-
down you were for
just
that,
piggy.
right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, to me, I think I'd be scared to do it. I think
But when you did
it,
I
it was
did
like-
it, and it was fine, but it was just my ass, Nobody's
Sure.
nobody's seeing my
You don't want
dick.
the balls.
I'd be a little worried if they saw my balls. But
I would fight. I'd be like, can we
Let me
get one
ask
of
you a
those
question. How much
prosthetics?
of that is because of sort of like your own insecurities of how the like world / people see you versus the show itself? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right that I if people are gonna see my dick, I want them to think it's a big dick.
Right. Whereas for me, it was like it wasn't even about that. It
Yeah.
was like, first off, to be fair, it was going to be very dark lighting, which I knew.
Yeah,
but
good,
also,
good.
it was like, this is so artistic. Like, I just didn't have the feeling that would even cross people's minds.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You might be a more evolved person than I am.
Yeah, no, I'm
sit
definitely
around-
closer to your side. Yeah.
Well, but this goes to say, my dad, when he did High Maintenance, there's an episode of High Maintenance that my dad did.
Yeah.
And when they were filming it, he's running around in his underwear,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, his character gets locked outside of his hotel room. And it's like, it's so embarrassing. I'm running around in my underwear, and everybody's like seeing it. And they were filming it, and my dad went up to, I forget the guy who does High Maintenance. Who
I know
runs it.
you're talking about.
But that
I
guy
don't
with the
remember
beard,
his name,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they were filming it, and he went up to him. He says, "Hey, wouldn't this be a lot funnier if I was like actually naked?"
Yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, I guess it would be." And then my dad just took his dick
Just
out
disrobed.
and is running around in that. And I was like, I've heard of people that that are like you, that are like,
Yeah.
okay, when
Yeah.
called upon, I will do it.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of anybody
Volunteering.
who's like going up and is like, this really should be me.
I really
I have
should.
I have a
ought to be
newsflash for you.
naked.
You have heard of them, and you were actually raised by them.
No, and you know
So-
how some people rebel against their parents.
Exactly. So you're in now like a never nude Arrested Development style. You have your torso on underneath, like that's you.
It's just the pendulum swinging back.
That's exactly. Your kids
Yeah,
are gonna
your
be
kid-
absolute
your kid is
nudists.
gonna be
Your
crazy.
kids are gonna live in a commune, tits out whole time.
No, it's very upsetting. It's very
Yeah.
upsetting. No, I hope I have some rational children one day. rational children.
luck.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully.
They always
Yeah.
rebel against each other, right?
There you
Yeah.
are.
No.
There you are.
All right. Well, that's good. I wanted to know who's down for my next big film idea. My next big short.
Call my people.
Yeah, you can call
Yeah.
your people. But a lot of your stuff, and I'm thinking back to like Max Out, and I'm thinking about I'm thinking about things like this.
Yeah.
You have so much of your character is I guess it kind of changes. Like things like this isn't so much this, but you often like to talk about the dates that you go on, right?
Yeah.
And you've got all these stories and things like that.
Yeah.
And I always wondered, because I feel like you're in a unique perspective,
Yeah.
having lived in New York and LA.
Yes.
What do you feel like dating
Who's
is
better?
different? Yeah, who's better?
Well, I mean,
In the
You got to
different.
pick one.
I know you met your guy.
Yeah,
You met your man out in LA.
yeah. So I've been in a.
Yeah,
I've lived
yeah.
in LA 4 years, and 4.5 and 3.5 of that I've been in a relationship. So it's
Wow.
not.
So you got hitched like
it's
that.
not. It's
But you
not,
can do a lot in 6 months.
No, I'm just joking.
Oh my God.
I'm just joking. No, I actually listen,
Yeah.
in terms of like my life in New York versus
Yeah.
LA, so much of my New York life was focused on dating.
Yeah.
Whereas when I got to LA, the mission was so different. It was like I had what I wanted to work on. I was putting the pieces together for things like this at the time. Like it was just
Yeah.
it wasn't my focus, and then everyone's always like, and that's when it happens, and it is. So
Wow.
fuck those people who told me that. But they were right. But also, like, when I was in New York, it was, first off, when I first moved here, no one who I was friends with really lived here. So
wow. Okay. Yeah. You were.
Yeah. It was just me. So like, I had my friend Margaret who was going to NYU at the time, and she was literally getting a bachelor's in English at NYU. She didn't have a lot of free time.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with people every night, like different people every night.
Wow.
Like I was going on dates every night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is all just apps, or is this
It's one app.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was,
It's LinkedIn.
no. I mean, like, it was all
Indeed.com.
Grindr.
Yeah, it was all
For
Grindr.
New York,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
all Grindr, especially at first.
Okay.
So, like, I really only started, like, going on, like, trying to find someone a little later, I feel like.
Okay.
Because when I first moved here, I think I just was really, like, oh my
Your
God.
attention
No, I think I was lonely.
You're
yeah,
lonely. Yeah,
really, yeah. And so I think that's kind of what led to, that period, which... We can be honest. We can call it my.
You're the hoe era.
There it
hoe
is.
phase.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
the
it was
hoe
what it
phase.
was. But I do.
Every
weirdly think,
genius has one.
It's true.
I weirdly think it made
Every
me,
great film director.
Yeah, you got to know all the angles. But what I do think.
Oh, but
I think it helped me later in life, kind of later in life.
later in life,
But
as you approach death.
it made me ready to be in a relationship when it was time. Like I
Yeah.
did feel ready because I'd experienced all this
Okay.
crazy stuff and
All this
like
chaos.
But I literally had like met so many different kinds of people.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can tell in your writing is like it feels like so many of like the kind of jokey like I can't believe this is happening to you
Yeah.
moments
Yeah.
Yeah.
feel like they come from different
Absolutely.
real life stories, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think also like, there's a part of like a lot of my writing and just me in general about like coming into kind of the confident being sure of myself in terms of, attractiveness and all that in my body type in the gay community. And that took years and years. So like in my writing, a lot of it is being like, like this person finds me attractive. That's not real. That doesn't exist, because a lot of that was me kind of dealing with that.
Yeah.
And feeling that way. But, as RuPaul says, if you're not gonna love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else? And so like,
wow.
it's actually like one of the truest things in the world. Like until
That's true.
I like found the power to be like, I am awesome in terms of like as a potential partner.
Yeah.
Then I was like able to find someone, but I mean
Wow.
that takes years because like
But that's years for anybody.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's what I
Yeah.
was- yeah. So
Yeah, I want to make a brief tangent just because you brought up RuPaul.
Yeah.
And we'll bounce back to this in a bit.
Yeah.
But and I think I said this last podcast, but you guys never got to see it, and it is a pride story.
Okay.
In the
Yeah.
sense that in your film, things like this, you have
Yes.
Willem from
Yes.
RuPaul's Drag Race,
Yeah.
right?
yes.
And you remember the day, that was the scene that I had.
Yes.
It was me and Willem in the car out there together.
yes.
With you.
Yeah. With me. It was free. No, it was raining.
It was raining. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
raining.
that's
It
why
was
we
the
were in-
last
that's why
day
we
of
were in-
filming.
It was.
It was the last
Yeah.
day of filming.
Yeah.
We were out there, and I don't know if you remember this because you were. It was probably a very emotional day for you. You were probably very busy. As you were
Honestly,
also
you know
directing.
what I was that
Yeah.
morning?
What?
Exhausted.
I'm sure you were.
I was
Shot.
so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are
Yeah.
just like pictures of me just being a sleepy guy.
Yes,
before we
yes.
went.
But I was
Yeah.
in the car with all of you, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting next to Willem. And I had never watched Drag Race.
Sure.
I didn't know Willem's background in all of this,
Right.
right? So I was like, wow, you look great. This is,
Yeah.
you do this, it looks great on you. And Willem is being very,
You're like,
gracious.
"What's your
all this.
name, man?"
Well, I said, what happened was, we comes to a lull, and I was like, so have you ever done this before?
No, we eat from
Terrible.
one of this.
I said,
for
so you
context,
do this,
She's
you know.
genuinely one of the most famous drag queens in the world.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
top, like 30 most famous drag queens in the world.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
It's just you can't
So-
get out of your own way. Ephraim and I had a reading last night.
I was
I'm
hoping you
sorry.
would say this,
We,
yeah.
we had a reading last night, and you do a reading, and then there's always that talk back thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And it was lingering a bit.
Uh-huh.
And
We
it
were
had
talking.
clearly reached a point where Ephraim thought it should be over. So Ephraim, who is the star of the reading, right? So he's in the center. He turns to everybody. He goes, you were this close to cutting off the last sentence that somebody else said.
Yes, I'm sure.
And you
Yes.
said, so, does anybody have any last words? And he did the finger gun. And I said, "What? I can't believe you."
You said, "How dare you?"
It's such an insane thing to say.
I said, "Well, because in my head,
so layered of fucked up. Who are you to end the thing? Who are you to say it in such a ridiculous way? Who are you to do a finger gun?
Yeah.
Like, not that, but I've had like in places where someone calls it.
Yeah.
I was like, years ago, it was me and all my college friends, and we were like hanging at this person. It doesn't matter who these people are.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
like at the end, like towards like it's getting late, and then the girl gets up, she turns off the TV, and she goes, "Bedtime." And everyone's like, we're like, but we're watching.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I thought everyone was tired." It's like,
It's bedtime.
bedtime.
It's bedtime.
You're tired.
Exactly, blown away by it. She just gets. It's also like, where was the remote?
Yeah,
like,
no,
you had
that's
to get
great.
that dramatic.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, but all that is to say, I'm an impossible person to work with.
You are not.
Yeah.
You're a great person to work with.
Well, thank you.
You are an impossible person to be
To be
around,
around.
separate from work. No, I'm just joking.
No, that's yeah.
Yeah, the reading went great until you were ready to leave.
Yeah. What an impossible guy.
Yeah.
It's true. No, but what I wanted to ask was, okay, so we now know, New York is where you go to have fun. LA is where you go to find love.
Yeah.
No, which is not,
I
know
want to
not
be
true.
clear.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if that's the case.
That was
That was
case.
my
Right.
But it wasn't. Also, while I was here, like I had left college early. Like when I moved to New York, I was a month into being 21.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
like my time in New York, I consider it me like learning how to be an adult. So like
Right.
I was here for 6.5 years or so, and so like that time is very different to me than I think to most people who live here.
Yeah.
And who like either come here after school or come here later, but like also who come here with a community. Like what's weird about my time in New York is that my community moved here after I was already here.
Yeah.
And then people who I like had been super close to for years before that, they came to New York. So it was like I had already had these New York friends who I had made, and then more and more people who like, were my friends from home or friends from school. Like everyone came to New York. So
Okay.
it was, I had a very specific.
Cool.
Yeah, but also I always wanted to live in New York. Because I grew up in DC. So I would come up here all the time. And I was talking about this today. I used to like twice a week my senior year of high school be up and back on a bus in the same day, like during a week. So like 2 times a week I'd be up and back from DC on a bus for auditions.
Yeah.
So like
no, of course you'd have to.
I was like,
right?
I just want to sleep somewhere. So then when I lived here, it was like fulfilling that. And so living in LA to me is also always weird because I never thought like or dreamt about living there. So
You ever think you come back to New York?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Okay.
I think
great.
like the thing is obviously everyone says I want to be bi-coastal, but I feel like I'm getting there hopefully pretty soon. But everything I ever write takes place here.
Yeah.
This is the place that
go.
inspires me in terms of like artistically, like it gets my brain going.
It's true because things like this you wrote. I feel like mostly in LA, but it's
no
still...
things like this I wrote here.
Okay, you wrote this here.
Yeah,
okay,
and
great.
things like this I wrote here. I edited some in LA, but things like this was written here. But everything since has been LA.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Is there in the sense, and I know I don't want to give up too much of your writing and all the stuff that you have, but there has got to be a story or two about some of these dates that have gone awry in some of this sense, in just the scariest sense. Because I have ones in my head. Because what I wanted to do was talk about pet peeves when it comes to profiles on these apps.
Oh,
and
sure.
seeing that sort of thing.
Or what makes a good one?
You know
What
the
makes
worst. You know actually what used to drive me insane.
Yeah.
The biggest one was when someone would just ask me like, what was it? It was like, what are your hobbies? on a dating app. Because I'm like,
I gotta cross that.
no, but it's like such a fucking general
next
question.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Like, there's a better way of being like, what do you like to do on a weekend? What are you doing tonight? Like, there's a way to get to know someone that's not, what are your hobbies?
What are
your
your interests?
Like,
What are your
literally, like-
earthling?
exactly. But like for me, it drove me insane when people would ask me that.
Yeah.
And then
Is there something if you see on a profile, like a picture or an answer to a Hinge response or whatever?
Right.
Again, you've been out of the game so long.
I haven't
but when
been
you
out
were
of the game
doing
for so
it,
long,
Yeah.
but when I was, there are. I mean, honestly, it's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and like this is not relate to anyone else's opinion.
I'm just gonna let you
not
know
here to offend
whatever
anyone.
whatever advice you give out, I'm gonna try today.
I personally would swipe left on most people. I don't even know if I want to say this.
What are you going to say?
I'm going to say most people with a lot of tattoos. It's just not my personal taste.
Well, that's a preference.
Wow.
It's your
Oh, but
preference.
that's
my
not a-
personal taste. I was raised in a conservative Jewish family where
As it should be.
where my mom would say, literally to this day,
Lucky.
my mom will say to me, if I get a tattoo, I'm cut out.
Wow.
So like it's like
know
a
they
My
don't
thing in
dad
like
said
my
that
eyes.
if he ever caught me smoking a cigarette, he said that.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Anyway,
My parents watched me do that on stage, so for 6 months.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Guys and dolls.
No, Carolina changed.
I know, Carolina changed.
Yeah. But,
yeah.
but yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's just my personal thing. But
Yeah.
That's okay.
yeah.
No, that's fine. I think
That's
that's
like a
fine.
visual preference
Please.
for like,
My big
is
thing
that a
was
cancelable offense?
no. I don't think that's a
I'm
cancel.
so worried.
You can't
No.
You
command
know,
Z.
yeah.
No.
It's a
okay.
preference thing. Some people don't date anyone if they don't have a tattoo.
That's true.
It's true.
And you know what? Actually, I love when someone can like tell me about their tattoos and why they are the way they are and why they matter to them. And I've grown more and more to love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the other day, my friend was like, "I want to go get a tattoo," and I can't tell if this was a dream or not. But regardless, I was like, "Huh, maybe
There was
I'll
a giant
get one."
pink guy there. It was blowing bubbles. I was looking at your shirt, but it wasn't, you know. But it
sure,
was, you know,
sure. No,
there
but
was-
yeah, I was like, maybe I'll get like a hidden Batman tattoo somewhere.
Wow.
But I still don't think I ever will. So.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll
Yeah,
talk about all that in a bit. Do you
Okay.
do you have any? If you're on a profile and you're like, "There's no way I'm not," that this turns me off.
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. I think I'm done with.
You'll swipe on anything.
I'm either all or nothing. Right now, I'm on a phase where I think natural selection is meant to eliminate me. I think it's a wrap.
No.
I'm because I'm disgusted by people. I
No.
really, I can't stand anybody that I've ever spoken to. I think you're all gross. I fucking hate the concept. I'm gonna not have any offspring. I don't think I'm fit for it.
All right. Well, let me.
But
yeah.
really quick, my
being
favorite switch that you can put on some apps
Yeah.
is when it goes better in person.
Oh, you can do that?
You can put it's an option.
I'm better in person.
Better in person. But how dare you say that of yourself? How dare you say that of yourself? What a fucking crazy option that someone came up with one day. Better in person.
I think if you hadn't said that, I would have switched that for myself.
I wish that I could put worse in person for myself. It's all downhill.
I do actually have a real one too.
Yeah.
Which is honestly because they'd be gay in this, and that's conservative.
Wow.
Because I genuinely think something must be wrong with your brain
wow.
to be like gay and be a conservative. I think
Wow.
something is
There's something
genuinely
about
incorrect.
it. There's something about it that doesn't pass the smell
I
test.
know.
It's just-
It's like, what are you thinking, huh?
First off, you
Yeah.
must be white.
Yeah.
That's number one. If you're a gay person,
It's
and
the
you're
only chance
conservative,
you've
that's
got.
the only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And number two, if you're not, also now you're really broken. Something's wrong. Like,
Yeah.
So that to me is the biggest red
Little
flag of
brainwash.
red
Yeah,
flags.
right?
I can't imagine someone who would actively vote against their own self-interests, but
Yeah.
I know. I don't know. I mean, it feels like that Key and Peele sketch they have of like the black conservatives. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I don't know, but it is that same kind of idea of like
I don't know
people
what
that
you're
are
talking about.
voting
Well,
against their own interests, and it's like, what on earth?
Yeah.
It's like a cartoon character.
I
you
do
know?
feel like there's this, and this is my opinion, and maybe I always say that maybe I am closed-minded because I cannot think in the way that like people who are a minority should be voting for a large group of people who do not support minorities.
Yeah.
Like, it does not compute to me.
Yeah.
I just...
It always makes me chuckle when, like, because, like, on the thing, you don't have to just put conservative or liberal if you choose or whatever, right? You can put sometimes you see apolitical, sometimes you see moderate,
Right.
which to me makes me laugh because all that means is you're just a little bit conservative. That's all they're trying to say.
The worst one is
they're like,
you're right, apolitical.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm sorry. There's first off, I grew up in DC. Let's be real about that. My dad, my dad's involved in government and stuff. So, like, politics do matter to me.
Yeah.
And in LA, I'm shocked by how few people care.
I know there's
Genuinely, how
just a
few people
laissez-faire
care.
kind of attitude
And
about it.
to me, it's like, why? What can I?
How
like,
can you not?
I just like it blows my mind. This is
Yeah.
the one thing you have in this country that is yours to make any sort of difference, and you're saying I don't care. And I understand the people who are like,
You don't care.
I don't believe you. I don't think I could make a difference. Straight up, I don't think so.
But the thing is, it depends on where you live.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
like,
why
I mean, you live here. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, like, if you believe, that people are voting in your self-interest, and you're like, my vote doesn't matter. I believe every vote matters. I really do, especially in local elections specifically.
Yeah.
But that being said, you move to Florida, your vote fucking matters.
Oh yeah, sure.
So
I don't think I'm
we
going to
take
Florida.
this down to Florida, baby.
no, I mean, I
Exactly,
literally
right?
was having a conversation with my friend yesterday and his fiance, and she was saying that, like, their friends keep trying to get them to move to Florida, and she was like, well, I'm a teacher, so I'm not fucking moving to Florida. Number one, the whole government would have to change.
You gotta think
Yeah,
that's
She
a
was,
bad
she
place
was like,
to
I
go
would
for
have to
that.
not be a woman. Like, these are the ways I would move to Florida. And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Sounds
but
like
this
the
is not a
perfect
political
place for us.
podcast.
It's not a
I
political
will just say,
podcast.
though, that,
Yeah.
like, for me, this year is just horrifying. Every day I am so scared going into what's going to happen.
November, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just where my mind is.
I
And
think
so-
hear
Bernie's
you.
got a chance.
what's so funny? It's like, actually, this is a good time for this story.
Uh-huh.
Because it's two things. It's like how people will read something and just think it's a fact without doing any sort of research.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because so I was at a shoot where, I do some modeling, and
Okay.
the stylist who I love,
For
who I'm very
sure.
close to, but she was like, Bernie Sanders is running again. Oh my God. And I was like, what? I was like, sorry, do you mean for Senate? And that is what she meant, but
Yeah.
she didn't know what she meant.
Yes.
Like, he was running again for his Senate seat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Which, by the way, like, I wish he was the nominee, but that's a different story.
I love Bernie. I love every.
Right.
And if it's not Bernie, it's Bob Durst.
But anyways, I was at the Anaheim Angels game,
Yeah.
which, if anyone knows, Orange County is, like, pretty conservative. Like,
Yes,
it's, like,
yes,
very different
yes.
from LA in that way. And I went to support the Orioles, go O's, and I'm sitting behind this older couple. I would say they're like 70 probably. That's
Okay.
me
Yes.
guessing.
Yes.
Right.
But I sit down and the guy is on the call with his daughter about, like, basically all the things they're doing wrong to Trump in the
media.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the
Sure,
world.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes. He's being wrongly accused of
The
everything
the-
that
the
he's
trial,
actually done, right?
Yeah.
etc.
So, but then
Yes.
later, his wife pulls up a article on her Facebook,
Oh.
which, by the way, great news.
Which
source.
that's where you get your news.
Right, exactly. And this article
Well,
says,
I don't know
and in
what the
1
joke
minute
is.
you are going to know exactly how I know this article's fake. Because this article says, Venus Williams refuses to play transgender player. Quote, I'm not playing a man.
Oh.
Now, problem number one, the picture is of Serena. Problem number two, the picture of the quote-unquote transgender player is Amelie Mauresmo, who is very much a cisgender female.
They're
And problem
just,
number three, this never fucking happened. Like, I can tell you that
Well,
as
it
a
sounds like
Williams
every
Sister
aspect-
super fan.
Yeah.
This never fucking happened. But so I see her read this article, and then I see what happens, which is right away. She's sharing it to everyone around her. The
She's
friends
like,
on the
You
left.
would not
Look at
believe
this.
this.
She keeps going, good for her for taking a stand. Wow. And literally just do a 1 second Google search.
It's unbelievable.
1 second.
That's unbelievable.
But it's that kind of thing where I
People are
saw
so
it happen
silly.
right in front of me, and then it was truth to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you this: I matched with that woman on Tinder,
What?
and she sucked.
He matched with her on Tinder.
Yeah, right. She said better in person, and she is not.
She was not better
I
in
can
person.
tell you.
Yee.
Yeah. No, but it was like one of those things where I'd never really seen it in action. Like someone just take something they read as fact, and I was like blown away.
I just have so little faith in humanity.
It's terrible. Now I understand why you're not swiping it.
I can't stand people. Each and every one of you disgusts me. Oh, disgusting.
But in that sense,
hit
right?
me.
Because
Yeah.
this is what because we can't really give any advice, right? But I do feel like
I can.
well, you can. You can. I'll speak
You
with
can give advice.
I can.
It's a different story on if you should.
You
give
just
advice.
watch me.
Yeah.
But I do wonder,
Yeah.
speaking to somebody who found a good man,
Yeah.
Sure.
a good
conservative.
yeah, a good 1.7% of our audience are women.
Yeah.
If that.
If that.
If that.
And they're wondering if you have advice on what makes a good man.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh, honestly, the biggest thing for me was that when we met, I was going through a lot in terms of just like
Yeah.
a personal friendship that was kind of blowing up in a way that was, and this is going into shit, but it was like abusive, manipulative, all this shit that was happening to me.
You can talk about our stuff.
Yeah.
That was good.
But it was like horrible, and it was the type of thing where every day I would be at this person's house dealing with this for hours on hours and hours.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just me, it was like, our group dealing with this. And the thing was, there was one day where I like came home and I was particularly exhausted and pissed.
Right.
And my boyfriend like texted me. He had fallen asleep and he was supposed to come over and he had fallen asleep, and he was like, I'm so sorry. He was like, I'm so sorry. Like, all this is happening. He's like, do you still want me to come over? He was like, I slept. He was like, but I will like do work next to you while you sleep.
Oh.
And this is like a month and a half or less into us dating. And he did. He just literally came over and spent the entire night next to me while I slept after what was just a horribly traumatic, terrible day. And then in that moment, I was like, that's what someone who really cares does. Wow. Like, I didn't know actually what I needed until he said it, and then he went the extra mile in a second without questioning it. And it goes beyond that. It's more just like, I always say that, like, communication always seemed hard to me until I met the right person.
Okay.
And then it became easier because we just communicate in a way that makes it easier.
Yeah.
Like, communication styles are so different.
Right.
That, like, it really only works when it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the biggest ones that I would say on why I was like, oh, this is like, this is what it should be.
That's good.
Right.
That's a good man right there.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
a sweetheart. It's a sweetheart.
Good for
Yeah.
him.
You think you'd ever
I
do
would
that?
never do
I
that
was
for
gonna say-
anybody. I couldn't fucking imagine.
Turned right to you. I was like,
oh.
all right, what do you think? But clearly we have some stuff to work on personally.
Yeah, what would you, how about this? How about this one?
Yeah, how about
Imagine Ephraim and I,
Yeah.
we realize something about ourselves. We're going to go,
In
we're
this
going
moment.
straight to GRINDR.
We're going
to
straight.
try and we're going to
Congratulations.
throw our hat in the ring.
Pride episode.
Pride
Fuck
episode.
Yes.
How can you give us some tips on like what should we be putting in our specific? What should I be putting in my profile? What should Ephraim?
What
be
do you
putting
think?
in
How do you think? Who do you
What
think?
works on that?
But the
Yeah.
thing is, I haven't
Yeah.
been on GRINDR in 4 years. I don't even know what it looks like now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but your idea, your heyday of GRINDR. When you
which ones of us are otters? Which
I don't know. Do you know what an otter is?
I don't know what an
I
otter
don't know
is.
what the term. I know
okay,
that only
so
a couple.
An
of them.
otter is
Okay.
a thinner, hairy guy, whereas
thinner,
a bear
hairy
is
guy.
a bigger, hairy guy.
okay.
I think you're a thinner, hairy guy.
I think I could be a thinner, hairy guy.
Do you
if I
think you're a
wanted
hairy
to.
guy?
Not enough. But I think the second I reach 30,
You think it's done?
it's done.
It's happening.
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
become the biggest otter
The world has ever seen. You're gonna run into the river.
I think I'll be in the river.
That's
I'll have a little stone on my belly
Yeah.
and I'll knock a shell against it.
that wouldn't be attractive for a Grindr profile.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
is that how you lead?
far.
Willing to break a clam open.
But I don't know, like, in terms of what, like I said, like, what Grindr looks like, because, you know, first off, the world has changed in the 4 or 5 years since I've been off it.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally, like, wouldn't know what the questions it asks or anything. I'd assume, because, like, literally 4 years ago, I don't even know if it had pronouns.
Oh,
so I would
for
assume
real?
that's
Sure.
got to be there now.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's there for sure.
Yeah, I don't...
Not that I would know, but it's definitely there.
I totally wouldn't know.
That's there. Yeah.
I mean, for sure.
Yeah. Then I would assume they probably got rid of some of the stuff that people found problematic, but
Okay.
who knows, right?
Wow.
Like,
What was problematic?
there used to be people had a lot of problems with Grindr because you were able to specify what you were looking for, like all the way down to like height and weight.
Oh, okay.
And
Wow.
even like ethnicity, like you could put what ethnicities you were into and what you were not.
Okay, sure.
And that should
that's
that
crazy.
should be gone.
That's crazy.
That should be
man.
gone by now. So
Wow.
if it
great.
isn't gone, it's time to get rid of it.
Okay.
But once again, I haven't been on it forever,
Okay,
so
all right.
I would assume it's not there.
Okay.
I would hope
But
and pray it's
what do
not
we
there.
what do we do to optimize our profiles? You think?
What would
Because I think Ryan, I think you get on there in a second.
You think I do
I think
okay?
you do fantastic.
I think you do well.
I would do well.
I think
But,
you
like,
do.
what do I say? I say, hey, Buster. What do I do?
You don't say that. That's where you do worse.
Hey, Buster Brown.
Yeah, no. No. I used to always just say, like, my first question would be like, hey, exclamation part.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. Hey, exclamation point. How are you? Question mark. That was it.
Wow, so you do simple.
That's all you need.
Simple, clean. You don't do anything
you just start
cute.
the conversation.
And nothing cute, no nothing.
No, I never did.
Because I'll tell you, women hate that shit.
They can't. Stand
What, they hate the hey, how are you?
despise it.
Yeah.
They,
Really?
they think it's lazy. It reads lazy.
You can't even use an.
I mean, first
exclamation
off, like,
point.
I am...
God help.
I
you
use a
it.
frowny face.
to be clear, like,
Yeah.
Tinder was created when I was, like, 20.
Okay.
So I was just getting the start of everything. And weirdly enough, when I was single, I was kicked off Tinder because people thought I was a catfish. And I'm like, I am nowhere famous enough for you guys to think I'm a catfish.
Wow.
But it's true. Yeah. And it's happened to a lot of people, like,
Yeah.
but like,
Okay.
yeah, it happened, and I got so fucking annoyed because that's where I met most people for dates was Tinder.
Sure.
So,
You
yeah,
ever dabble in Raya? What's it called?
I never got approved when I was single. But like,
Wow. They
once again,
approve
that's
weird
4 years
people.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
approve, and like, I think they approve hot people. If you want my
Wow.
full on opinion.
Well, what do you?
Wow.
And you didn't get approved? That doesn't
my point
make sense.
is that I think they are kind of what's the word? Like
Evil.
fatphobic.
A little evil.
I think they are. Well, I couldn't think of the word fatphobic. That's
No.
take that out.
Clip that.
No, but I do think Raya is fatphobic. I
Wow.
literally, my
Okay.
PR team might get a little mad at me because I've asked them like, should I talk about this?
Should I
And they've
talk
been like,
about it?
they're like, why don't we do a little like research? Raya is fatphobic.
Wow.
But can I say that just feels like the most obvious statement you could make
Yeah.
in some ways.
Like,
Yeah,
I just feel like they're not. They are seemingly just the most uppity.
They are,
Yeah.
and they don't
kind of-
hide that. Like,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they are very much like we are the pretentious dating app. Like,
Yeah.
good luck. But
But I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of other kind of bigotry came out off of that either.
it's interesting
and
because
that's
there's
not
been a
my
lot
place.
of dating apps who have had to be so, I think, cognizant of the fact that, like, because they are a dating app, they are like under a microscope for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and for prejudice and
Right,
things
and
like
for
that,
prejudice, and that there are people on their apps who, genuinely suck, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, have you
Right.
seen that guy who runs that app, The Right Stuff?
Oh, you're talking about me.
No,
right
there's a
stuff? Is this a
but it's
conservative?
This guy. It's a conservative dating app, and it's this guy who always does TikToks, who like is the owner, and he always does TikToks where he's like making fun of liberals, but every time he does it, it's like actually a really good point against conservatives that he like thinks he's like being like, you know, like
Got
he's just
him.
making himself look dumb.
Got him.
Like he literally will be in like a restaurant and he'll be like, ugh, guess I gotta tip 20% because they work hard.
It's like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
You got it. Ding, ding, ding. You get it. You're getting it.
You're learning. Like, it's like so. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's learning machine.
Yeah.
Machine.
What are the other fun stuff you
The
have
other
plans?
fun stuff. Well, this is my other thing that I have.
Yeah,
planned, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
you brought it up briefly, but I wanted to talk about just in the world of pop culture. And media,
Yes.
Right. Exactly. The James Gunn verse is coming out. Dave Cornsweet, a friend of mine, is Superman.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know you knew him.
I knew him. He was there. He helped me out for my audition for Juilliard.
Hell
Met him
yeah.
over there. Very cool guy.
Hell yeah.
He's gonna be Superman, and I don't know if the Robert Pattinson Batman
Separate
is
universe.
separate, right?
Universe, yeah.
So what I was going to say is, I figure at some point they will have their own Batman or some
Love
other
them
characters,
too. Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I wanted to know, as you as a Batman super fan,
Yeah.
are there any must-haves going into that? Is there a story that you feel like they really ought to do that they haven't adapted yet, like The Longest Night? They
The
have
Long Halloween.
The Long Halloween.
I think a
or
lot of people would
something
say the
like
long
that.
Halloween.
You know.
But I do personally, my biggest things are this.
Yeah.
That you hire someone who's gonna take the part seriously, because I think we've seen that when people take it seriously, it's done really well. When people don't take it as seriously, when it's kind of a joke to them, it's not done well. In terms of like specifically the James Gunn universe, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I have huge faith in him.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like, because literally Marvel's best movie in the last 2 years was made by him before he moved.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, I absolutely trust him to create this universe. And I actually think Warner Brothers and DC did a hugely smart thing when they hired a filmmaker to create a film universe.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I think that
It
was
makes
what was
sense.
missing for them.
But
Right.
do you
So,
think,
in terms of Batman, though, specifically...
I'm curious what James Gunn would do. Everything he does feels very colorful and
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
and bright.
Well, he did really well with Suicide Squad. I loved it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So obviously my favorite movies of all time are the Dark Knight trilogy. I think they're perfect, especially The Dark Knight. It is
Yes.
a perfect movie. And I will die on the hill that I think Dark Knight Rises is a perfect movie until the last 15 or so minutes. Like, I really do. But I will also, what I'm going to say is that all of that being said, I think that Matt Reeves created the best version of Gotham I've ever seen.
Okay.
In terms of the city itself, it feels so right to me.
Yeah.
So I'm also very excited for like the things he's creating TV wise and all that in that world.
Okay.
Right.
And like it's interesting that there's going to be a whole other Bat universe at the same time.
That's what I'm curious about. Yeah.
This one is being done so well. And the thing is, like I said, I have huge faith in James Gunn.
Yes.
So it's more like I have to see what they're going for. I would assume it's going to be a more like colorful, sort of less bleak.
I was gonna say, is there room for something that's campy in the same?
The issue is, I think what's drawn
guises,
people to Batman over the last 15, 20 years is the realism.
Yes.
Of why, like, the thing about Batman is he really is the only superhero, quote unquote, because he's not actually a superhero,
Right.
Yeah.
who could really exist.
Yeah.
And all of his villains have some sort of world where they could exist as well. And I think that's why recently, you know, especially as the world's been dealing with everything, people have felt especially drawn to Batman because he is literally like a savior who could exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, if they were to go back into the campy sort of comic book,
it might take away
Joel
from some of
Schumacher
that
type thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know necessarily. I first off don't know if I would like it. That's not really the point. The point is, how would audiences respond to it, since they've responded so well to the darker, more realistic stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what they're expecting.
Okay.
Whereas, by the way, like, Zack Snyder's Batman was still dark, but it wasn't realistic.
No.
So I think the realism of Batman, the realistic part, is what's the biggest selling point.
Are you a fan of the Snyder cut? Do you like that version of all of it? Is that too controversial?
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think, like, in my opinion, like I said, The Dark Knight and all of those are the perfect version of Batman to me in terms of who he is, what he stands for, what he's fighting for, what he believes. All of that checks every box off to me.
Yeah.
I think Snyder was trying to give us a completely different Batman, but there's a way to do that without giving him a machine gun.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I'm like, you just completely, like... And, I mean, that's the thing. I think Zack Snyder was making a film he wanted to make, not necessarily respect to any of the characters. I mean, first thing he had Superman do, not first thing, end of the movie, but is break a villain's neck.
Yeah,
which
he
Superman
kills Zod.
would never, ever, 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 ever do.
Yeah.
So it's that... It was like... The movies are interesting. They are very specific in how they're stylized.
Yeah.
But not necessarily the characters I grew up with.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't want to get me started on Joker, so.
No, and we never would. We never would.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a world in this new James Gunn universe where we could get Ryan to play Man-Bat?
I think Man-Bat is an
Ladies.
awesome, wild fucking character. I would love to see Man-Bat. Did you know that there's like a 5th movie being planned after all the for Joel Schumacher, and it featured Scarecrow and Man-Bat.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm like, that would have been wild in that sort of campy, weird, creepy universe. So,
Yeah, I would have loved that.
Yeah, I would have too.
But you very cleverly avoided answering the question.
I said yes.
Yeah, that we could get him
said
to
yes.
be.
Make it happen, kids.
Yes.
Yeah,
there
I
you
said
go.
yes.
And
Absolutely.
All 1,922 of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Together.
do you think that I could play Mad Hatter?
Yeah.
Dream big. No, you could. Absolutely, you could.
Dream big.
Absolutely, you could. I mean, he is wild. You know, it's funny because, like, when you were saying that, I thought you were going to say the Riddler because for some reason I see that more.
I
Not like the Paul Dano version. I'm thinking more like the original
Jim
like,
Carrey.
Jim Carrey,
There's a great picture out there somewhere for fans of this podcast of I think this was like my
How many years ago
junior
was it?
year of high school. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
exactly what you're talking
of
about.
me dressed as the Riddler for Halloween, and I'm right next to Logan Riley Bruner, who was dressed as Bane. For who was dressed as Bane.
Typecasting.
Yeah. And both of us are very funny
Sorry,
looking
I'm
at
just
it.
not gonna. But pre-Venom.
Yeah.
It's no shade.
Yeah, no, it's none of it was all, it was like, it was a fan cast.
Do you guys know what shade is?
Who?
Shade?
Shade, what, like, I know Slade, like
No.
not Batman villains anymore.
No. This is for the
This is
Pride
a dating
episode.
app.
Oh, yeah.
For the Pride episode.
the Pride
I'm
episode.
teaching you what shade
throwing
is.
What is
shade.
shade?
Throwing shade.
Oh,
Throwing
well, we know what
shade, yes.
throwing shade
Yeah,
is.
of
That's
course.
we
I
just
know
learned
that.
from the masters.
Yeah.
From who?
From you.
Oh, you learned from me.
Yeah, we've been watching you.
You learned how to throw shade from me. Honestly, have you guys ever watched, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, Paris is Burning?
No.
Paris is Burning, no.
Oh my god.
I have to watch it.
Incredible. And it's about like the ballroom scene, of queer people of color, like Black, Latino, like all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Latinx. Edit that I say the right thing.
You're gonna have to say the right thing.
So hard. I gotta show you a TikTok later, but but it's like about the underground community that Pose is based on the TV show.
Okay,
cool.
sure.
Yes.
But Paris is Burning is like really these people who were living in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, cool.
As AIDS was also, ravaging them.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating and like is also like the truth is that it's one of the most heartwarming, uplifting films I've ever watched.
Really?
Like, I watch that film and I feel inspired. I feel like ready to live life. I feel like, oh my god, like,
Wow.
Right.
these people love themselves in a way that's like unconditional.
Yeah.
that's
And
great.
they love each other, their community, in a way that's unconditional. It is so worth watching for everyone and anyone because it's just like
Yeah.
pure humanity. Like,
Wow.
it's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Put it
that's
on the list.
great.
Yeah.
That's very
Put
good.
it on the list.
We'll have to put it on the. We'll put it on. It'll be right after.
Link in description below.
Link in description below. Yeah, exactly. You
Ladies.
all can watch too.
Ladies.
The link sends them directly to you.
Oh God! It's you say
goes to my
Paris is
Instagram.
burning,
Because,
but it's
like,
just your
it's-
OnlyFans.
And this is the opening picture.
Hey. Oh gosh.
Worst OnlyFans ever.
Well, look. The last thing that I had planned for us
Uh-huh.
is.
I want to do that random question thing again.
You want to do that? We haven't done that in
We haven't done it in
years.
years.
love
It is
that
7.
thing.
I don't know what you're about to say, but it is 32.
32
I
right
know
now?
people have places. to
I
go.
honestly say we do another 10 minutes.
Let's-
if that's
Another
okay.
10?
Yeah, no, let's start to wrap up. All I was going to say is I was curious.
the
I know
thing.
on your story you asked for songs. Yeah, you asked for what songs you should play. I was wondering if you got any suggestions. Not that Ryan would know how to play any of them.
No, I only.
Oh, I
to sing.
did get one, or I got a few. Guys, I gotta be honest. I don't really look at who views my stories anymore because there's a lot of people, and I
Uh-huh.
totally missed it. Because
You're too big now.
I know honestly what it was I was here, I posted it, and I just haven't been looking at Instagram.
Good.
I'm so sorry to
You're too busy
the people
living
who
life.
suggested songs
Uh-huh.
because I suck.
No.
And there it is. Like
No.
Is what it is.
yeah, and like the thing is I'm usually very good at engaging with people on Instagram, but
Right.
I being away from my like home and stuff, I just don't I'm not looking at anything right now really. So
Crazy.
I don't.
Crazy.
I have a
anything
friend
ever.
who always makes fun of how I'm like, I'm so busy. Like, I'll call you back. And I'm like, no, I'm
Right.
genuinely, like, I want to talk to my friends. Like, if I had my way, I'd be at home talking to my friends 24/7.
Yeah.
That's just
Wow.
not the nature of it right now.
All right.
So-
Well, if we don't have any songs, what do you think? We do the questions and then
You
we
wanna do it and
we'll
wrap it
let's
up?
wrap it up after that.
All
huh?
right,
we
ladies and
didn't do
gentlemen.
anything gay.
Oh, have you not been watching?
What should I do?
We should make you a grinder.
Yeah, let's do it. What should my little thing be? What should my
Ladies.
Ladies, ... question mark.
I think you'd do great. I think you'd do great. Next week we'll make Ryan a grinder.
Oh, wait, I was going to talk about the Pokemon thing, though.
Oh, what
well, let's have
Pokemon
your
thing?
Pokemon.
do you
Sorry,
have?
sorry, I forgot.
Last year you have to remember. Last year we what did we? We did gayest Pokemon.
Did you?
Yeah,
that
we
was
did.
what we did.
The episode did very well.
Who won?
I think we came up with some honorable
did we
mentions
say-
were Mr. Mime,
Mr. Mime was up there.
Jinx
was up
Jinx,
there.
Nidoqueen,
Aromatisse.
Aromatisse. There were lots of some of these you're not going to get. Some of these are new
I don't
ones.
know any of
Yeah,
them.
okay.
So that, but
You don't know Mr. Mime? Tell
No.
your story. I'm pulling him up.
For my brother's like
Yeah.
bachelor party, he got each of us like
Quaquaval. Show him Quaquaval.
I'll show
I'm
you.
sorry.
a piece of like Pokemon something that like was the Pokemon he thought we were, and I got Jigglypuff. So
Well, there you go.
Oh my god, you got Jigglypuff.
Here,
And
sh-
did you
show-
know? Did you take that with pride?
I liked the hat he got me. It was pretty cool.
Well, that's nice.
But I did leave it in the rental car I used to drive to New York, so
No.
I don't have it anymore.
All right, here's Mr. Mime.
What do you think about him?
What do you think of him?
I feel like he looks like Wait, you know what you should do?
Is he an otter?
You know what you should do?
Is he an otter?
You
What?
should do that thing where like you show me random Pokemon and I have to say what I think their name is.
Oh,
we could do a couple
wow.
of
That'd be funny.
these. Yeah.
Okay,
we
you
can
wanna
do a
do
couple
that?
of
Yeah,
these.
do that.
I'll do a
wanna
couple
the
of these.
questions too,
All
but I
right,
wanna
all right.
Do the
answer this.
questions.
Guys,
yeah.
I'm gonna miss this show. It's fine.
No.
No, I'll get there
No,
for
no,
a
no.
little
We'll
bit.
do it.
But here's the thing: my brother is obsessed with Pokemon Go
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's
the point-
that's the way you get in.
to the point where, like, when he was driving me in Mexico on dirt roads,
Yeah.
he has two phones, one for phoning and one for Pokemon Going.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
Wow.
And so he
two
would
phones.
be
Kevin Gates.
driving, playing Pokemon Go on dirt roads, and I was literally like, please don't. Please put it down for a moment. But I went to Japan in January.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they went to a few of the different Poke centers throughout
Yeah.
Japan and got a ton of shit.
Oh, cool.
And it was very cool. Like, I mean, the stuff that's there, the stuff I saw. I didn't go to any of them. But I did hear about how cool they were, and that's all I have. I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
That's my connection to Pokemon.
You've given us plenty.
Yeah.
We've got it all.
You've given us plenty.
All right,
Are you ready?
I'm pulling up some for you. Do you want to do the questions first? Or you want to do him guessing some of these names?
Let's do the question. You know what? No, let's do the Pokemon first.
Okay,
let's
let's
do
do
it.
the Pokemon first. So,
Do you have to show the camera? Or are you gonna just,
we'll throw
We'll
up
throw
the
it up.
image.
Okay,
We'll
cool.
throw it up.
All right, so this is one that you needed to kind of-
post-production?
Oh, you
Don't
better
get me
believe it.
started.
You better believe it.
Don't get me
All
started.
right, here's one that is a fan favorite that we've already spoken on several, but I want you to take a look at this duck.
Oh, that's Psyduck, right? Or something like that?
It's not Psyduck. That is a smart thing that you would say.
That's Glam Duck.
Lamb duck. Lamb duck is close. Lamb duck.
I'm going with that.
Glam duck
I
is-
don't want to know what it's
okay,
actually
okay,
is.
all
Okay.
I'll learn later. Just,
Okay.
So we'll do. You have to tell us his name and then like what you think about it, what his like
Yeah.
occupation. Just a
Runway.
quick
Runway.
Yeah, a little. Yeah. There you go. Okay.
There we
Go
go.
ahead.
All right. After that, we have here. Can I look up just this one?
Okay.
All right.
Gotta be quicker than
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to pull it.
you
You didn't
gotta
give me
be
any
quicker
time.
than
All right. I want you to take a look at these little fellers right here. What do you think
Oh.
of them? Huh?
Oh wait, aren't they called like
What?
Dirtle or something? It's like Needle or Dirtle. Am I close?
You want? What's your final guess? Needle or turtle?
No, I said Dirtle.
You want to call this dirt?
I'm calling it Dirtle.
All right, Dirtle it is.
Dirtle.
All right.
Dirtle
And
is
what,
cool.
what I think its powers
Yeah.
are.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what
What
do
do
you
you
think
think
it does? Well,
about
I
it? Just
figured
like
out
a
these
little
next
log line.
Yeah, a
I
little
think
log
that
line.
that's like a
Let's do-
like a parasite that lives in your ass.
It's really the thing that crawls in your cock hole or whatever.
Wreaks havoc and lives in
Gross.
your- Yeah, that's what that is.
God.
Disgusting.
Oh,
All right.
God.
Okay.
Damn
All right.
Dirtle.
All right, what's another funny one? You start thinking of some other ones that I
Okay.
can come up with
Yeah.
while I do this.
This is a fun game. I'm enjoying this.
Here we
Here.
go. Let's do. Here we go. You can zoom in. And I'll move it around. This right here. What do you think of this? This is when this was a controversial one for us
Let me see.
That's
is-
Okay.
last week.
that's Sandy the Castle.
Andy the cat. The names are lengthening.
You're actually surprisingly not that far off.
Yeah, and Sandy the Castle's
What is Sandy?
Special
What
power.
does Sandy the Castle
Yeah.
do?
she
They.
they're all about jewels. They like
Oh,
create
that's good, that's
jewels
good, that's
in
good.
the air.
All right,
Yeah.
here we go. All right, what do you think? What do you think of this right here?
Oh, that's that's Dr. Goldstein.
Dr. Goldstein. A nice Jewish man.
There you go. And
Dr.
his
Goldstein,
special
what's
power
it- but yeah, what's
is
his
he
practice?
can diagnose exactly what's wrong with Rob.
There you go. There you go.
There's
All right.
shade.
Lady.
All right, do you have one last one? What do you
I'm
think?
trying to think of a real
I'm trying to think
good
of
one.
something funny for him. What do you think of this?
Oh,
What?
that's femme fatale.
Who'd you do?
Femme fatale, huh?
Femme fatale.
Femme fatale. What's she up to in her downtime, huh?
Her superpower is she can slay.
Here, wait. She can slay.
All right. And
All
in
right.
the same
Wait.
vein,
Okay.
in
Yeah.
the same vein, what do you think of? Oh, come on, here we go. I've got terror. I'm not good with this.
Okay.
All right, here we go. In the same vein,
Oh,
does this
do you
change
got?
anything for
that's
you?
her sister.
That's her sister. What's her name then?
Kangaroo fatale.
Both still fatale.
Still Fatale. Part
Yeah.
of the long family dynasty.
And
of
just
Fatale.
so you saw something clearly very extravagant
Uh-huh.
and provocative.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then let's just take it back to basics.
Oh,
Do you know what that is?
No, I don't. That's happy. And his superpower is just vibing.
It is.
He's just happy to be there.
Happy is happy to be there.
Well done.
Well done.
I did well.
Done.
You did.
Did I get
You
them all?
actually didn't get one wrong.
I knew it.
You knew them all.
Yeah.
Here, should we go through and tell Max what he did, what he got right?
I don't think so.
I don't
He
think I
doesn't
got
need
any
to.
right.
He doesn't need to know. He does. He didn't get any of them right. No.
No.
I do think it's no.
Durdle,
of course.
No, not
Durdle.
Durdle.
Of course,
Durdle's name is just for the record. Durdle's name here is Wug Trio.
Mine's better.
No, yours were all better. Yours were all, for sure all better. My favorite was Kangaroo Fatale.
I like Dr. Goldstein personally.
Dr. Goldstein was
there
pretty
is
good.
a great,
Yeah.
is a
What's
great,
his
amazing,
real
great,
name?
great. His name is Goldango.
Yeah, I win.
Goldango.
All right, let's try.
I like
so,
Sandy the Castle.
Sandy the Castle.
Sandy, it was the closest you got.
What was
That
it?
Palo-San, but
Yeah.
his little baby form is called Sandy Gast.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Sandy.
he's a little ghost
Honestly,
haunted
that's a great-
sandcastle.
Wait, can I read you my drag names?
Oh,
Let's hear
sure.
these
I
drag
gotta
names.
read you these drag names. I know I'm like pushing when I'm leaving.
Yeah,
but
no,
I gotta.
I
have a list of
I live
these.
here.
You're only giving
so
us content.
Here's what we got.
Yeah.
Anti-Semitism,
Wow. Wow.
Judaism, my personal favorite, lemon fadoo.
I don't think I understand that one.
What the hell is that?
I thought it was.
No, that's not.
I was waiting for another. I was like,
pun.
I was like, what does that mean in Yiddish?
I have cookie butter,
Cookie
Okay,
butter.
okay.
I like cookie butter.
Okay.
crystal chandelier.
Crystal chandelier.
Yes.
Wow.
Agatha
rhymes.
Christie.
Agatha
Oh.
Christie, a classic.
Mel area.
Well, Eric. Mine is
Sandy?
Ariola.
Sandy Beach.
Ari Gross.
Sandy Beach.
Sandy
I
Beach.
feel like normal.
Yeah.
Quintuplets.
Well,
And then
Quintuplets.
my personal favorite, Gladys.
Fuck.
Now presenting Gladys. Come on.
Gladys.
You want to be there?
Gladys is something, it's
I wanna be
it's
there.
an anti-name. It's like the band.
I wanna
you
be-
know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to be there for Judaism.
Anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism.
That person's got to exist somewhere.
Yeah,
by the way. Like, that one's
anti-Semitism.
too good.
That would be really funny if anti-Semitism came out in like a drag battle with Judaism.
Anti-Semitism
And they,
versus
They're
Judaism.
sisters.
Yeah.
We're cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two
that's
sides
so
of the
stupid.
same coin.
Oh wait, do you guys like still time me for this shit, or is it like
We don't have to do any time.
Let's just go.
Yeah,
all right,
let's
fine.
do it.
So we're
Yeah.
doing a shout out to randomwordgenerator.com. They have a section called Random Question Generator. I can type in 10 questions and I can generate them instantly, like I did right now.
It's magic.
Years ago, we did this with Max, and we time everybody, and we do answer them as quickly as possible. But I think it's more interesting if we just go through them and hang out and
Let's
get to
just do it.
learn more about Max Talisman.
Yeah.
Okay, Max Talisman, are you ready?
I am.
What's something commonly do today that you think people will wonder why anyone would ever do that 50 years from now?
AI.
What a crazy!
What's something we commonly do today that you think would be crazy?
Have you ever seen those videos? It's like people from the 60s, and they're like, what do you think people will be like in 40 years? And they're like, I think everyone will be quite sad. And I don't think it should be a very happy time. You know?
Oh my god!
And they were right.
They were right. My answer is AI.
Yeah.
You think AI is gone in 50 years?
I think it should be with that fucking question.
You're not wrong. Is there anything that most people find cute that creeps you out?
Good.
Yeah, birds. Fuck them.
You don't fuck with birds.
Hate birds.
You hate a fucking bird.
I literally, I know this is. Here's the thing.
That's
they are
crazy.
fucking dinosaurs. They are literally like reptiles with wings and scales underneath the feathers, and we
Yeah.
go, just fly around, just go for it.
I can't
Oh,
believe it.
there's this
Right?
fucking. There's this fucking bird that I think lives in my air conditioner in my room, and every once in a while I'll just be trying to do. I'll have a self tape, and the bird will just
She is
And I'll
rooting
think-
you on.
I'll go and I'll smack the fuck out of the air conditioner. Hate that stupid thing.
That's me. That bird is me.
Yeah, I named it Ephraim. What was the last meltdown that you witnessed?
The last meltdown that I witnessed.
Yeah, you could say this podcast if you want.
No, it's on Survivor, Liz. Does anyone watch Survivor?
Liz on Survivor.
Liz on Survivor.
It's been a couple decades since I turned
Liz
on
on Survivor. She
It's a new
wasn't.
season?
Yeah, it's the new season. She wasn't invited after the reward challenge to join the winners at Applebee's.
Wow.
Oh my
They
god.
literally had an Applebee's promo, and I'm sitting there with my friend. I'm going, Applebee's is fucking wet right now. Like they are like, just every other word out of her mouth is Applebee's because she's like, every Wednesday I go to Applebee's with my daughter, and like this is our thing. And then she says all this before the challenge, and then the guy who wins doesn't choose her to go to Applebee's.
Wow.
And the other part of it is that Liz hasn't been eating because she's allergic to everything apparently.
Okay.
But she knows she can eat their burger. So she's really upset because she's like, she's
can't go
literally
to
like,
Applebee's.
but all of a sudden she like sees red because Jeff, the host of the show, goes like, Liz, do you feel comfortable speaking about how you feel right now? And I swear to God, her head turns back 360 degrees and like she's like literally the exorcist. She goes, she's talking. She's like, you know how hungry I am. It was just perfect television. So that's the answer to that one.
Oh my god.
That's great.
And you can also loop it in there if people want to see it, please. Yeah. More post production.
Yeah, I'm really gonna do that. Well, yeah, well, what do you? Yeah, no. Would you like something green screened behind you as well?
Did I not make that clear?
That you're doing this from Los Angeles? This interview's
Sunny, beautiful Los Angeles. They just green screen waves behind me, just the ocean. Dolphins jumping out.
yeah, palm
Beautiful
trees.
Malibu.
Yeah, that's
Malibu, bro.
This Wednesday 9 a.m. kids.
Uh-huh.
What activity do you do where your mind wanders in thoughts the most?
Oh, wow.
Wanders in thoughts.
I gotta tell
Honestly,
you,
the
random
answer
question
is,
generator.
Driving.
Absolutely, because I drive everywhere in LA, and like there are times where I'm very focused, and there are times where I'm like, "How did I get here?"
I totally no. Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
So,
you just black out.
Isn't that called highway hypnosis? And like they teach
Is it?
you it's a bad thing in driver's ed.
Oh no.
But it's if you're like I've
Yeah.
never done anything wrong, so
You've
in
never
my
done
life.
anything
So,
wrong. Yeah.
clearly can't be bad.
I'm right there with
Yeah.
you.
Wow.
I don't know what to say.
Wow.
What do you wish you had learned 5 years before you did? This is a poignant one.
This is a good
Oh,
one.
this is true. I mean, I wish that I had come out 5 years earlier. Maybe not 5 because I came out at 19, but earlier. But like, I mean, this is the whole thing with like gay people who are my age. We feel this sort of like, it's not jealousy, but it's like, maybe it is a little of like people who are the generation under me who like have come out earlier, who feel safer to do it.
Yeah.
And who, you know, get to experience things that we didn't as young people. There's always been this thing that like queer people feel stunted in terms of our growth, like because we like didn't get to experience dating in high school, we didn't get to go to prom and all that stuff. And like
Interesting.
the generation below me has. And I believe that if I had come out in high school, I would have been able to experience those things. Because,
Yeah?
I mean, but you see that, like, you turn around and you see that. You know what I mean? Like, it's hindsight's 20/20.
Were there other gay
yeah.
kids in high school with you that you knew that you felt like maybe you had some kinship with at
Not
that time?
really, no. I mean, like, I knew a few of the kids were probably you know, gay as well or queer or whatever. But not to the degree where I felt like we could talk about it.
Okay, sure.
Interesting.
Same, actually, where I grew up doing theater, most of the people around my age were not gay or queer as who were in my performing groups, or more specifically, weren't in high school.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's
Yeah, or weren't out,
interesting.
yeah.
No, well, that's a good that's a good answer to a good question.
Sort of a piggyback.
Uh-huh.
What do you consider the best decision you've made thus far in your life?
I mean,
Coming here today,
absolutely.
ladies.
What do I consider the best decision I've made in my life?
Yeah, no pressure.
Right? Like, I don't fucking know. I feel like every day you make so many decisions.
Yeah, the best one.
I know.
No,
I know,
we didn't say all of them, but we did
not.
say. Yeah.
It's interesting because I've made. Oh God, this is why I would lose the timed one. Luckily, it doesn't exist anymore.
We deleted it.
got rid of
Yeah,
that.
but I think
Along with
honestly,
the dodo.
what I'm gonna go with is the best decision I made so far in my life has been working with Buzz.
Oh,
Wow.
Shout out to Buzz.
Shout out
huh?
Buzz. That's a very sweet
Buzz
answer.
Kane.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's the truth.
If you had the opportunity to look through someone's email without them knowing, would you? To me, this is easy.
It's an easy yes.
Absolutely.
But like whose? Just someone's?
Yeah, just the guy.
Anyone? Like yours? Don't care. But if it's someone specific,
I would look through your email in a second.
yeah. But like,
T-Max is like, obviously.
no. I mean, honestly,
You'd be
good
crazy
luck.
not
I have like
to.
180,000 unread emails. So
Yeah, so do I.
no, to be honest, though, it does. I think depend on who the person is to me.
Yeah.
I
I would honestly, if I know the person, the answer is yes.
I would
Yes.
totally do it.
If I don't know the person, I don't think I would care.
I don't understand how people like the question of like
Bunch of
if you
snoops.
could
A bunch of snoops.
if you could read everybody's mind, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And everybody-
absolutely.
There are people who would answer it like, no, I wouldn't.
You know
be
what?
able to-
I would say yes to reading anyone's texts, but emails no.
Oh, I would read all of it.
But
I
like
want to know
texts are more
everything that
interesting.
everybody's
I
thinking.
feel like
of
people are
everything.
texting more personal things.
No, yeah, I would totally
Yeah.
do that.
Whereas
Texts
there's
are
people who
better.
don't really care about email. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
AI.
AI.
Maybe last one, eh?
Yeah.
Let's do
What do you wish you had more talent doing? That's kind of a lame one.
That's a lame
But
one.
answer it and then
There's no answer. There's nothing. You
For
don't have to
me,
answer that.
I mean, I'm so good at everything. It's like, calm down. You're so
Calm
good.
down.
Losing weight, and that's such a dumb
Yeah?
fucking thing to answer. But yeah, I really need a hip replacement.
You need a
I
hip
gotta lose
replacement?
weight, yeah.
But like I feel like you've embraced.
I've embraced my weight. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like be a different person.
Okay.
But I'm saying like
Okay.
lose enough weight that I can get my hip replaced, which is like 20 pounds or so. So like,
Yeah.
that's what I would want. I don't want to be a different person because like people have asked me like, would you get surgical stuff to like be like skinny and stuff? And
Yeah,
I'm like,
okay.
no, I don't want that.
Wow. Okay.
I don't
No.
want to look different. It's not about looking. different.
Yeah.
It's about literally like
Just the hell.
if I can get my
Your quality
hips
of life.
changed, then I can like just not be in pain walking down the street.
Wow.
God, I'm sorry that your hip is hurting you
fine.
so bad.
It's fine. Everyone has their shit, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone is dealing with
Everybody's
shit.
got
And like
their shit.
that's the thing. I was at this event recently and this guy like skipped my friend in line who was specifically waiting for me so that way I wouldn't have to wait very long
Yes.
because I can't.
Yeah.
And he like skipped her in line and he was going in and I was like, hey, she was waiting for me because I'm handicapped. And he was like, who? And I pointed out my friend and he was like, she was waiting for you. I was like, yeah. And I was like, because I'm handicapped. And he like looked me up and down being like, he didn't see my handicap.
Wow.
And I was like very pissed off about it. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not the type
Damn.
of thing where like it's,
No.
visible.
Wow.
No, that's
But,
that sucks.
yeah, that's awful.
let's end it on a happier note than that.
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
let's find
All right.
something.
Next question. What is your handicap?
Yeah, right? Are we talking golf?
yeah.
What song?
Yeah.
No, that's stupid. What's an interesting fact that you learned recently? You got anything for that?
What's your most interesting fact? Huh?
It's an interesting fact that I learned recently. I don't know. No, I don't got anything.
Do
for
you
that one.
people watch? If so, where do you like to do this most?
Oh, you like the people watch?
I think everyone does, especially if you're an actor.
I
I
like
think
to
like if you
close
don't like
my
people
eyes.
watch like, but people are so fascinating. Like I genuinely feel like actors have to be interested in people and like learning about them. And I think it goes further if you're a writer and filmmaker.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely interested in humans. And like, do you ever just like drive down the street and you see people and you're like, first thought is, I will never see that person again.
Oh my god.
Second thought to me is, what is going on in their life?
Yeah.
They are living a completely different reality than me.
Yeah.
Doing completely different things.
It's unbelievable.
And yeah, it's so interesting though.
It's
No,
crazy little
I watch
spider
people-
web of interactions. people
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but that's not a funny answer either.
It's not. I'll keep going.
Yeah,
I'll keep
you
going.
gotta be
Is there
funny
a funny?
to end this
Is there a
shit.
funny
Yeah.
question? What's your?
I'll put on my Orioles hat for the
Yeah,
last
there.
question.
Do
The
it,
last
do
one
it.
will be good.
Yeah.
This one's about money, fame. Who cares?
Just
If you
mention
had to
all
wear a
things
hat for the next week, what type of hat would you choose?
This one, right?
Is that what it is?
Is it really?
I mean, a baseball cap is like the easiest answer because it
No.
doesn't make me want to hate myself. I'm not gonna wear a fedora every day.
You had a fedora phase.
I did have a fedora phase.
You ever
I did.
return to that?
I think there's a real world where if I lose all my hair, I'd go back to.
You become a
fedoras.
hat guy.
I become a hat guy, but like really elaborate ones.
Yeah.
like a Vikings helmet. I think might make its way back.
It's not going to, and don't.
Or how about this one? What's some small thing that you noticed recently?
What does that mean?
I thought it was. I read that.
What about this
like,
one?
how-
now?
I was like,
Oh,
how dare they?
Yeah, what's some small thing you noticed? Like what? A little camera in my teddy bear's eye.
Okay. How about this? What question do you have that nobody has been able to give you a good answer to?
Oh.
Like for me,
What's going on with the cast of
I
Glee?
see. What I saw. I follow Bobby Altoff is one of my
Your
celebrity
heroes.
crushes, and every time she shows a picture of her children who now come from a broken home, right? She divorced her
The poor thing.
her baby daddy.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
She covers her children's faces,
Oh yeah.
and to me, that doesn't quite make any sense. To
Yeah,
me.
what's going on there?
Because
That's a I think that's to protect their identities from the tabloids.
sure, but why? Because
Well,
we know that Bobby Altov has 2 kids. We know that.
yeah.
And
But like,
I'm not
let's say
gonna
that
do
they're,
it.
Like walking with their nanny, not her. She doesn't want them
Someone
to be
might
bothered
try and get
necessarily.
him.
Yeah.
Bobby Altoff is the girl who was interviewing all the rappers.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just think
My
that if someone
question is,
wanted
why
to
does she
steal those
talk
kids,
like
they can
that?
get them.
Why is she talking like that?
Like what?
That little way she talks, where she's like,
That's something
yeah.
you need an answer to.
That's what I need an answer to.
No
is
one
like,
can
yeah.
give you this answer.
Yeah.
I love Bobby Altoff. I'll
Yeah.
marry you in a second.
Bobby, come on down.
Lady
Bobby.
Bobby.
I mean, this is such a dumb thing. This is still not funny.
Max, I'm
Max,
trying. I'm
you've been
doing
funny
what I
about
can.
your podcast.
I'm doing what I can. Hey, Max.
what I wanna know.
Hey, Max. Wait, what'd you say?
What happens after we die?
Oh, come on! Come on!
That's the truth.
You could have said, "Oh, why does a fart make that funny little noise?" You could have done something, but you went to stupid death, and it's my fault that I need to find a funny question.
But you asked me the question, and I can't help but answer it honestly. So.
Hey, Max, what's funnier, poopy or pee-pee, huh? Can you do something with that?
Okay.
I can't believe it asked it that.
I like this
AI
website.
needs to stop.
The AI needs to stop.
No, I think we can wrap up. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, we don't
Okay.
need more
How do
questions.
you-
We can wrap up and just have fun.
All right. So if do you want all approaching 2,000 subscribers on YouTube?
I know.
Let's
Not
go.
to mention.
I know.
We're approaching 7,000 across social media platforms.
Hell yeah.
I know.
Growing rapidly.
I know.
Taking over the internet. So why don't you look into the camera and tell the people what the fuck you want them to do?
Follow me at the Max T Show across all social media platforms. I use Instagram most, so like if you want to stay most up to date with what I'm up to, send me song suggestions. Go to Instagram.
Link in description. below.
Yeah. The Max T Show, and then for the movie, you can follow at Things Like This Movie. For all updates in terms of sale and where it's going, where it's streaming.
Ephraim's in that movie.
I
Link
am in the
description
Absolutely.
movie.
below.
I am in the movie.
And then for anything that I'm working on next, you can follow at Malibu Bro Pro on Instagram.
Link is in
Mally
description
Bro
below.
Pro.
Malibu Bro Pro.
Mally Bro.
Not that.
Malibu
Not
Bro
that.
Pro.
Malibu.
And for any like emails or anything that people want to send in terms of like, hey, look at this project I'm working on, or Max, do you think I have nice teeth? Anything like that, you can send.
You
it
want
to.
people to do that? I'll send you
They'll
an
do
email. I'll send you an email.
It's info@malibubropro.com.
Do all
Yeah.
of the things. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're listening on any of the audio apps, please leave a 5-star review. If you don't want to leave a 5-star review, leave a 4-star review. If you want to leave a 3-star review, I'm not doing
urge
well,
you
so don't
not
do
to.
that.
Watch a
So
different fucking podcast.
yeah, like just leave it alone, or I'll tell you what you do. First, you click that notification bell, and you leave a comment. I reply to every single comment. You keep trying to get me, you're not gonna do it.
You're never gonna.
You're not gonna do
You're
it. I
never
reply to every single comment. But you want to say, hey man, fuck all that. We just want to give you money. What do they do?
You go to fourthwall.com. Hey, we've got some new exciting things that we're putting on there. Like
No, we
Max
don't.
No, listen. We're going to put Malibu Bro Pro merch on the website. That's right. And we're going to make money off of you.
Yay!
Yeah, we're gonna, and maybe we'll send you a residual.
Thank you so
No,
much.
you can get yourself a philanthropist T-shirt. You can get yourself a friend of the pod T-shirt. You can get yourself a nice day. Nice
On the website?
Yeah, nice pair of teeth on there.
Yeah, you can.
Pictures of Ryan's teeth.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
You need to create a new one. The ladies. That needs
ladies?
to be the next shirt or
What-
magnet.
is this in poor taste? What about a T-shirt that just says "I'm not gay"?
I wouldn't do that. Personally.
Fellers.
Personally, I wouldn't make that shirt.
Be a bit confusing.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody, it'd all be
Yeah.
confusing.
So yeah, it's gonna be the same designs that have been up there for 7 months. But Max Talisman, we love you more than
so much.
anything. We think you're great. We keep
Love you guys.
expecting you to put us in your projects.
I will.
No pressure.
I will.
But if you
Absolutely.
don't, we have nothing else to do.
Ephraim will always play a part that is so great.
Stop right there.
No, absolutely though. Always. I'm just joking around.
No, we love you. You're welcome back anytime
guys.
you want something to talk about. We'll
I always have
always
stuff to talk
Yeah,
about. so.
it's true.
we will always have a milkshake with you.
Let's go.
You got
true.
anything else to say?
I got nothing else to say.
All right, guys. See you next time. Bye.
Right.
See you next week. Bye. Why'd I change it up?
See you next time.
Say it again.
All right, guys. See you next week. Bye.
There you go.
Do you want you and I? We pretend. What's the opposite of pride? Shame.
Shame.
We pretend to be. We're so ashamed.
And when I'm like,
and then we.
And then you're like, you should. If only we had pride.
And then and then we slow turn over here.
Yeah, we'll do
let's do
that.
that.
We'll do
Okay.
that, and then whatever happens, happens.